In part 1 of this episode, we began to analyze a talk by Mark entitled Preparing for Persecution. Mark is a helper to the teaching committee. If you are new here, you are welcome. If you are not, welcome back. This is Tell Me Dr. K, a channel manipulative religious leaders like the governing board of the Jehovah's Witnesses wish you never discover. If you crave for deep dives like this, subscribe and smash the notice bell for more. What if you were told that every criticism you hear about your community isn't just an opinion, but a supernatural attack? What if the simple act of voting or celebrating a holiday was actually an allegiance to a demonic system? Today we are analyzing a talk entitled Prepare for Persecution. On the surface, it calls for courage. But beneath the surface, there is a complex architecture of interpretation designed to create a world where isolation in safety and suffering is the ultimate proof of the truth. The shield reproach. The story begins with a warning: they will lie about you. The speaker draws a direct line from the trials of Jesus to the modern experience of his followers, framing any negative news as a badge of honor. In this section, the speaker discusses Matthew chapter 5 verse 11 and argues that because Jesus was lied about, modern worshippers should expect wicked things to happen to them also, as proof that they are in the Lord's day. Here is the clip.
Now, in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 11, Jesus said people would lyingly say every wicked thing against lovers of truth. They lied about Jesus Christ. They spread lies about first century Christians. They spread lies about true worshipers today. We should expect lies against us, expecting persecution, expecting reproach. This is what Jesus said would happen. And especially during the Lord's Day, which we are living in right now, prophecies indicate that even at this time, reproach and persecution would become clearly evident. For example, let's open our Bibles to Revelation chapter 13 and see how this applies in our day. Revelation chapter 13, we should expect and prepare for persecution.
Now, the speaker here creates a shield of reproach. And this creates a sage mentality where external criticism is never viewed as a valid feedback or a legal investigation, but as a prophetic fulfillment. Traditional contrast. Whilst the Bible talks about persecution and suffering, traditional theology distinguishes between suffering for righteousness and suffering for wrongdoing. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15. This narrative bypasses self-reflection, turning all opposition into a validation of truth, the monster in the mirror. The narrative then introduces a villain, the wild beast. Now, this isn't a monster from a myth. It is the very world we live in, its government, its medicine, and its progress. The speaker identifies the beast from Revelation chapter 13 verse 1 as Satan's political creation and warns that even technological advancements are traps designed to win human admiration. In this episode, we continue from where we ended, the identity mark. The tension rises as the beast demands a mark. In this story, the mark isn't just a physical tattoo. It's a choice of identity found in small details of daily life. The speaker describes the mark of the beast on the hand and forehead as a symbol of supporting nationalism or celebrating worldly holidays. Here is the clip.
But now verse 16, it's something again that we need to discern and understand and have that ear of discernment. Verse 16, now it, again the wild beast, it puts under compulsion all people, the small and the great, the rich and the poor, the free and the slaves, that these should be marked on their right hand and on their forehead. So now we're speaking about a mark that the wild beast wants to give all of us, all people. You see, this wild beast used by the devil to maneuver the wild beast to promote intense suffering, particularly on the part of Jehovah God's people. So a mark on the right hand showing active support, actively supporting the wild beast, giving into nationalism, worldly holidays, and so forth. This is the mark of the beast. The right hand is a symbol of action and active support. And then notice even the forehead, mark on the forehead, public identity. This is who I support as well. It affects one's thinking. So the mark of the beast is something that, again, the devil uses. It's a demonic mark so that one's promotes suffering for those who do not have the mark. And verse 17, and nobody can buy or sell except a person having the mark, the name of the wild beast, buying or selling. So you can imagine that demonic mark of the wild beast. Anyone engaged in activities, normal activities such as buying or selling, is pressured to do things the way the wild beast wants them to do it. And again, whether it be holidays or supporting nationalism, they are expected to worship the wild beast. Let it rule their lives so as to receive its mark.
This is the tool of social boundary maintenance. By labeling holidays and civic participation as demonic, the organization creates a deep social rift between its members and their non-JW neighbors. Traditional contrast. In traditional Christianity, the mark is usually understood as a specific conscious act of apostasy, denying Christ for a false god, rather than refusal to participate in local customs or national holidays. The paradox of power. The story reaches its climax in the face of modern trials. The speaker points to legal battles and imprisonment as strange kind of a victory. The speaker asserts that being unable to buy or sell or being thrown into concentration camp is an outstanding demonstration of Jehovah's power because the organization continues to thrive. Here is the clip.
Those who refuse to receive the mark, Jehovah's people today, will have constant problems. And this has been true for over decades. We've had to fight court battles because of not having the mark, endure violent mobs because of not having the mark, thrown into concentration camps, endure lengthy imprisonments because of not having the mark. And in fact, in some countries, our brothers literally are unable to buy or sell or even to obtain property. And yet, in spite of it all, in spite of the pressure, look at true worship today. Look at the way true worship is not just alive and well, but thriving and vibrant. This is an outstanding demonstration of Jehovah's power, his spiritual protection upon millions of his worshipers earthwide, integrity keepers. And this indisputably shows that true worship will never be extinguished from the earth. John 2 sees a great crowd that survived the Great Tribulation. So we're thrilled to be able to defend the truth in spite of this type of persecution. It's our privilege to do so. And so it's true. Peter said that people will speak abusively of us. That's true. And we're going to expect persecution. We expect reproach. But in spite of it, we are determined not to compromise our faith, not cower in fear, not tremble at men, but continue to courageously magnify Jehovah God right down to the end.
The critique. This serves as a retention strategy. By framing legal consequences as privileges, the organization transforms personal loss into a divine trial, making it harder for members to question policies that led to the trials in the first place. Traditional contrast. Traditional theology recognizes that many groups, religious and political, thrive under pressure. Growth is not considered as an indisputable proof of God's favor. Traditional context emphasizes that the great crowd, Revelation 7 verse 9, is a diverse body of all believers rather than one specific modern corporation. A story of preparing for persecution ends with a call for courage. But as the narrative reveals, the courage is built on a specific foundation, a belief that an entire world system is an enemy and that the organization is the only safe place for members. When we peel back the layers, we find a narrative that uses the Bible to enforce isolation and silence critique. The full significance of this story isn't just about preparing for hard times. It's about redefining reality so that the only voice to trust is the one telling the story. This is Tell Me Dr. K, a channel manipulative religious leaders like the governing board of the Jehovah's Witnesses wish you never discover. Because on this channel, we cut through the noise and expose what they are hiding beneath. If you crave for deep dives like this, subscribe and smash the notice bell for more.